Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Ann Emanuel. Tonight, Southern Tier leaders expressing concern over how to enforce the state's new indoor mask mandate. As Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst reports, this comes as local hospitals are seeing a big increase in COVID patients.
Good evening, Ann. As hospital beds continue to fill up in the Southern Tier, residents are being encouraged to comply with the state's mask mandate. However, local officials are worried about the ability to enforce the mandate.
Quite frankly, we don't have resources for the mandate at a local level.
With COVID cases rising across the Southern Tier, concerns are being raised about the ability to enforce the state's indoor mask mandate at the county level. Darlene Smith with the Steuben County Health Department says she supports the mandate in theory, but says it's unrealistic to enforce in practice.
My entire public health department and team, as well as other county departments and staff, are working very hard and diligently with their head down on case investigations, contact tracing, vaccination clinics. I cannot possibly absorb the added responsibility of enforcing a mask mandate.
The Turtle Leaf Cafe in Elmira is taking notice and is openly defying the state's mandate.
For 2 years, we've been told a lot of different things by the government, and at this point, I feel like it's becoming overreach.
Owner Adam Bunce says he will continue to do what he feels is best for his business, regardless of the threats of being fined.
Can't continue to watch small businesses crumble and shutter their doors because they can't do the volume of business they need to keep their bills on, to pay their bills and keep their doors open. Darlene
Smith says the state needs to take more action to make the mandate more reasonable to enforce locally.
I don't even really have the mechanism to enforce it. So, but the state does. It would be my desire that they take the lead on however they want to set it up.
The mandate is expected to be re-examined on January 15th. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Elmira police are looking for a porch pirate caught on camera earlier this morning. The video shows two people walking along the 300 block of West Clinton Street around 7 a.m. One of the suspects is then seen walking up toward the house and taking a package from the porch. Anyone with information about this incident is asked to call Elmira police. A federal judge dismissed a case brought by an Elmira wedding photographer against the state of New York. Emily Carpenter sued the state back in October, saying that being forced to serve same-sex weddings was a violation of her First Amendment rights. However, the U.S. District Judge Frank Gerasi disagreed, stating that all New Yorkers are entitled to equal access to the public marketplace. Attorney General Letitia James called the ruling a victory in protecting the rights of the LGBTQ community. New coronavirus spread concerns are causing some Broadway show cutbacks in New York City. The closures come as a new wave of coronavirus cases are hitting major areas, with variants being reported. Hamilton canceled its Wednesday night performance and offered refunds. Tina, the Tina Turner musical, closed shows Wednesday as well. The Alvin Ailey Dance Theater also closed shows Wednesday and Thursday. Other shows previously hit include Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Ain't Too Proud, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Freestyle Love Supreme. Ticket holders are being given refunds. Broadway continues to maintain strict vaccine and mask-wearing guidelines to attend shows. New York police authorities are investigating whether two officers supplied fake proof of COVID vaccination. The NYPD says it considers false documentation to be a serious breach of integrity and the law. The involved officers have been placed on desk duty while the investigation proceeds. Police unions have not commented on the matter. 88% of NYPD officers are vaccinated. Another major upgrade for JFK Airport in New York City. New York Governor Kathy Hochul announcing a $1.5 billion expansion project to modernize Terminal 4 at the airport. The renovations will be privately funded and are expected to be complete by 2023. Once finished, Delta will move its operations into that terminal.
What we're proposing is a plan that had been talked about before the pandemic, and today we're signaling all the pre-pandemic plans need to be supercharged and acted upon right now. And what we'll be doing is breaking ground on expansion of Terminal 4. It is a $1.5 billion project, and my favorite words are all privately funded. So thank you.
Earlier this week, the governor also announced private funding will help renovate Terminal 1 at the airport. That project will cost an estimated $9.5 billion in private money. Construction is expected to begin next year. Some neighbors stepped in to help stop an attempted car theft in Philadelphia. The whole incident was caught on video. Matt Petrillo reports.
Security video shows a sedan parked with its blinkers on and front door open on the 800 block of North Uber Street in Philadelphia's Francisville neighborhood when someone wearing a hoodie rushes into the driver's seat and appears to put the car into drive. That's when we see a struggle with the delivery driver and the person in the driver's seat. We even see the delivery driver trying to pull the person sitting in the car out of the window.
My neighbor was loud. And at one point, I think my neighbor said, "Need more people out here." So that was like my cue. It felt like I need to throw on my shoes now.
This person and other neighbors are then seen coming outside to help as the delivery driver gets the person out of his car.
He was just like kind of shook, basically, is all I could describe it as. I think we all kind of were. I mean, I was definitely like shocked.
Police want to remind drivers to avoid car thefts. Take your keys with you. Keep doors locked and windows should be up. Police add carjackings have skyrocketed in Philly this year.
Makes you not want to be in the city anymore.
As for the delivery driver, neighbors say he drove away unharmed.
I did ask him if this was his worst experience or worst day ever driving, and he said he once got a parking ticket. And I said that this was way worse.
Police haven't yet said if any arrests were made.
Jobless claims are up this week. The weekly jobless claims number increasing 206,000 from last week. But the total number of Americans collecting unemployment benefits fell to just under 2 million. That's a pandemic low. The latest report says job openings currently are sitting at a record 11 million, while the number of Americans quitting their jobs fell slightly in October to 4.2 million. And if you want a different job, you've got company. A survey of close to 1,000 workers by website Best Colleges shows what's been dubbed the Great Resignation is poised to continue next year. More than a third of the respondents said they plan to change or at least consider changing jobs in 2022. Even if you already did that, chances are good you could do it again. 69% of those who made a change this year say they plan to make another move next year. More than a quarter of the respondents say they're learning new skills to get a better job. The people most likely to say they are planning a change include those who earn less than $40,000 a year, workers under 24 years old, men, and ethnic minorities. Coming up next, meteorologist Kim Walker will let us know how much longer we can expect highs in the 70s. And later, we'll tell you how you can get paid to skip a particular dessert.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. Temperatures today soared into the 60s this afternoon. We don't have the official record just yet, but our previous record was set on this date in 1971 at 58 degrees. And of course, we were nearly 10 degrees warmer than that today. This comes ahead of a very strong storm system that could bring some wintry weather by Friday night into your Saturday. But overall, temperatures today a lot warmer than they were yesterday, about 15 degrees warmer in Corning, 19 in Elmira, about 20 in Bath, and also in Wayland, about 17 degrees warmer in Wellsboro. We are expecting a halt to this warm weather by tomorrow. In fact, it will be a lot cooler, still unseasonably warm, and we are going to see some sunshine as well. But then moving into Friday night into early Saturday, as temperatures plunge down below freezing, we are expecting an icy mix changing over to rain and then possibly to some snow by Saturday night. Cold air will be back by early next week, and we are expecting dreary conditions as well. But high pressure building in tomorrow will leave us with northerly winds and so it is going to bring a lot cooler air from the north, and so as a result, it will be about 10 degrees cooler than today. We do have rain chances, or at least precipitation chances, on Saturday, starting off with a wintry mix and then changing over to rain. And it looks like our chances of rain will really diminish by early next week. But for Friday night into Saturday, we have a low pressure system and that will make a beeline across Pennsylvania. And so we are going to have the possibility of a wintry mix. Areas shaded in the purple, as you can see there. And so just be ready for some slippery roads as we head into your Friday night and early Saturday. So overall, temperatures will be a lot colder by early next week. The dew points will be dropping down into the teens, so it is going to be dry air that will be moving in behind this next storm system. So our future radar is showing fairly quiet weather for your Friday, but then Friday night is when I'm expecting those clouds to really increase and some of the precipitation will be coming in from the south and the west. Notice the blue and the dark purple that's showing up. We are expecting the possibility of some snow mixing in with sleet and freezing rain. So that will make very slick roads as we head into your Saturday morning. And then as those temperatures warm up, that will be changing over to rain and then switching back to snow by late Saturday into early Sunday. So get ready for some really wet weather and also just some slippery weather as well. Tonight, temperatures around 39 degrees in Corning. Highs tomorrow only around 48 degrees, and we are expecting even colder conditions for the weekend.
Some students in the San Diego area are being given COVID tests to take home with them during the winter break. It's a move by school officials to tamp down COVID spread when they return. Megan Healy has the story.
Kids at the San Diego Unified School District will end their winter break with a nose swab. The district is encouraging students to take 2 COVID-19 rapid tests before returning to school.
I'd rather know if they're sick or not and keep them home, and that way they're not transmitting to anyone else.
The free test kit comes with 2 rapid tests, one to take 3 days before the student returns to school on December 31st, and the other to take the day they return to school on January 3rd. The tests are not mandatory and families are not required to report the results unless the test comes back positive.
It's just slightly up in the nose, not even a quarter of an inch, and it just needs to be moved around 15 times and then changed to the other nostril and moved around 15 times.
The district says they're passing out kits to get in front of any potential outbreaks.
It's for their use to confirm and to, if they've traveled over the holidays, been with family, to be comfortable that they can return to school with a negative test.
Some parents are concerned people will misuse the rapid antigen tests or get a false negative.
I don't know if it'll give people false results, if it'll give people false, hope that they're getting results, but at least it's there.
Health experts say the test can confirm a positive case most of the time.
The rapid antigen test kits are extremely accurate. I know that it varies from brand to brand, but it's an average. It's a high accuracy, well over 90%.
Schools within the district will still continue weekly testing, but kids feel more comfortable when mom or dad can test them in the comfort of home.
My mom is a nurse. I would feel safer with a nurse doing it or someone who I trust.
The holiday travel crunch is upon us. The TSA says airports are expecting to see the most passengers on Thursday, December 23rd and Monday, January 3rd. The agency suggests arriving for flights early, wearing a mask, and packing your patience. The TSA estimates the volume of passengers at airports nationwide will be near pre-pandemic levels throughout December. It's even suggesting passengers sign up for TSA PreCheck. TSA says 94% of PreCheck members waited less than 5 minutes in line, even in November. A shortage of cream cheese could have cheesecake fans saying bah humbug this Christmas. To cheer them up, Kraft is paying 18,000 customers $20 if they're willing to have something other than cheesecake for dessert this year. The company behind Philadelphia cream cheese says it wants to make sure there's enough cream cheese for bagels, cheesecakes, and everything in between. Head to spreadthefeeling.com starting at noon on Friday for your chance at the $20 digital reward. You'll have to submit a receipt for a dessert or dessert ingredient dated between Friday, December 17th and Friday, December 24th to qualify. Las Vegas, the city known for its stopover location of gambling, casinos, and glitzy show entertainment, has landed the NFL's Super Bowl 58. The city celebrated with a big rollout and blazing lights as 50 properties, mostly major hotels on the Las Vegas Strip, helped pump up the event on their marquees for about an hour. Allegiant Stadium, the new home of the Las Vegas Raiders since 2020, will be the playing venue for the event on February 11th of 2024. The high-tech and fully enclosed arena currently seats 65,000. From the friendly skies to the not-so-friendly Capitol Hill, executives from Delta, United, American, and Southwest Airlines testified before lawmakers. Kevin Cork has more.
Airline executives testifying on Capitol Hill. Republicans wanting answers on vaccine mandates, as a federal appeals court just rejected a request to stop United from enforcing its mandate. United Executive CEO Scott Kirby says roughly 200 employees were fired for not getting the shot. A tough number to swallow as airlines recently canceled thousands of flights due to staff shortages.
We accepted about 80% of the religious requests.
The other 20% that you did not accept.
Democrats, meantime, hit on the rising cost of travel.
Does it really cost $150 to put a bag on a plane? Obviously, the answer is no.
Airline executives thanked lawmakers for their recent bailout, which they say saved about 85,000 pre-pandemic jobs, but warned inflation was already impacting their industry.
Fuels are highest, are most volatile, and most susceptible to inflation.
And the question many people want to know:
do you think be able to get on an airplane without masks?
Masks don't add much, if anything, in the air cabin environment.
The president of the Flight Attendant Union also asked Congress to do something about the rising number of brawls mid-flight. Senator Maria Cantwell, a Democrat, promising to work with the Department of Justice on that issue.
Eviction numbers are slowly rising across the country as the year comes to a close. This following the end of the federal ban on evictions 4 months ago. The Supreme Court rejecting the Biden administration's moratorium aimed at protecting renters, ruling that the CDC could not continue extending the ban without Congress's approval. Data from the eviction lab at Princeton University shows that evictions have risen in more than 30 major cities and 6 states. Iconic musician Bruce Springsteen has just sold his masters and publishing to Sony Music, according to Billboard. The deal reportedly made the boss a whopping $500 million for his life's work. Springsteen is not the first musician to part with his music catalog. Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, Stevie Nicks, and more have recently sold off their rights, with many saying it takes the pressure off their family and managers of their estates. A new effort is underway by local law enforcement nationwide. Police warning seniors to be on alert for holiday scams. Dane Placco has the story from Chicago.
I got a phone call from supposedly someone from Amazon.
Jane Epperson is lucky, even though she followed the caller's instructions and downloaded software on her computer that gave him access to her bank account. She pulled the plug in time.
So then in the end, I had to change my bank account, my credit cards, everything, and it was terrible.
This happens to older people, younger people.
Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart warning residents of the Carrington Senior Living Center in Lincolnwood about the dramatic increase in holiday scams this year. Phone calls and emails to seniors, supposedly from companies or charities, seeking personal financial information.
The number of scams and the volume has dramatically increased, and it's heartbreaking. I mean, the stories we get from people who literally have lost everything.
Well, there's a thing called spoofing. Has anybody heard of spoofing?
Sheriff's Detective Mike Kane says, unfortunately, many seniors let their guard down over the holidays.
There's always, like I said, for the generosity level that people tend to have around the holidays, it's an opportunity for people to pose as family members and try to get into those bank accounts.
Charlene Skelly says she nearly fell victim to a common senior scam.
They said that this is your grandson, Jim, and I'm in trouble and I need $4,000.
This is probably one of the most underreported crimes you're going to ever come across, because across the board, everyone is mortified and embarrassed, and so they don't want to tell a soul about it.
The sheriff says the best advice is to never give personal information to a stranger. Simply delete the email or hang up the phone and call police.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. The fur was flying at a soccer match in Spain. It was fans gone wild as thousands tossed stuffed toys onto the field during halftime. The fans hoping to make Christmas a bit brighter for kids in need. The annual tradition took place during the last home match of the year. Thousands of toys flew through the air, landing on the grass, some even being caught by club staff. An estimated 19,000 toys were collected and will be delivered to children in the surrounding area. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.